And hello again, guys. We are back again on Inspire SA. It's a lovely Friday. We hope you guys are ready to learn. And we got a lovely guest today. I know you've been seeing a lot of this face. And my colleague Narcis. I don't know if he's gonna show up on the stream today, but if he can, that's fine. We have a guest, one of our gold student ambassadors. His name is Fanie, and he will just jump in right now and tell us what he has in store for us. I think Fanny will jump in just now.
Hello? Can you hear me, brother?
How are you?
I'm very good, man. Sorry. I'm in an environment where I can't show the face, so yeah. Sorry for that. And then my PC is still low. I installed so much software that are very powerful, so now it takes time to load. Yeah, so in the meantime, I'm using my phone, but then we'll just go through the theory. Then by the time now you see it right, then we can just jump straight to the practical. I'm so excited.
Okay, no problem. I am also excited, man. I just have to see what you have in store for us. We haven't had new faces and new people on Azure and .NET Fridays in a while now, so this is exciting.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. You'll tell me when you are ready if I can start just for us to engage a little bit. Yeah.
I was born ready, my man. Whenever you're ready, I was born ready.
Okay, perfect. I'm ready. So yeah, today's session is quite exciting one. I'm an Azure person. I've been developing with C# for about 8 years now. Yeah. But
whoa.
Yeah. I've been
that's really long, eh?
But I've been
that's really long.
Person. Yeah. So I've been developing since 2013 using C#, but then I started to interact with Azure back in 2016. So it was an exciting platform that I was so excited around it. And then the fact it's come from Microsoft, I've been Microsoft fan since forever. So the fact Microsoft got it right with Azure made me excited, because you remember they missed when the internet, Google beat them in terms of Google search. Then we came into social media, Microsoft, it couldn't catch. We came into mobile, but then into the cloud. When now we move into cloud computing, then they got it right with Azure. And then it's my preferable cloud computing platform. So yeah, then one thing that I will tell, if I can just explain what is cloud computing, it just means that you're rendering computing power as a service or over the internet. And then the exciting things about rendering it make it much easier for entrepreneurs, for small businesses, big businesses to innovate fast. And especially as an entrepreneur, I run my own small business. It make it much easier for me. I can compete with someone, with Microsoft itself. I can compete. I can design solutions on their platform. I can design solutions that compete with them. So it's so exciting. So as I said, it's services rendering on the internet. It means now if I want to design my website, let's say an eBay, where I want my local people to start to sell the local produced goods and services, they can go and advertise there. And to create it previously, for me to have such a computing power that will be able to help me to deliver those services or to design that solution, it means I had to go to buy my own server. I have to go and buy my own software. So I have to hire the people who will equip with network. So it's just going to be a headache. I had to raise such millions first before even I can host such a website. But today, within 5 minutes, I can't just host it just like that. So that's one thing that is exciting about Azure. It means those services you will see once we start to go through the thing. It's much easier. You just click, then you have just to host your website just like that. Previously, you had to have such R1 million first before even you can host your own website. You have to maintain it. You have to have a lot of licensed software. But today, just that on Azure, those are already there. All you just rendering according to your needs.
Yeah, it's amazing what the cloud, how much power the cloud has given us. So people don't really have enough funds and infrastructure to implement our solutions. You know, nowadays anyone can have their own solution running at anywhere at extremely relatively cheap cost. You know, the cloud has made it very easy for us. I'm also a big fan of Microsoft, right? So like I really understand where you're coming from when you're saying Microsoft got it right when it comes to Azure. So that's a really powerful platform.
True, sir. So that's the first thing that I will do. Then the second thing is you will go to MVC. I hope that some of the sessions that were done here, they went through the MVC to just deeply understand MVC as it is. So I'm going to use the MVC, but I'm not going to go deeper into it. I will just choose the template as an MVC, just simple template that is already existing. Then what we're going to do with it, we're just going to host as a website, the website of it, because that by itself is a website, the system. So we're going to create it. Then after creating it, we are going to host it on Azure. But the exciting things, you will see some of amazing features. That's why I'm a Microsoft fan. One of my friends, what he was doing was, so we used to fight. So he said, like, Microsoft people are so lazy. I said, no, Microsoft people, one thing that they understand is it's about the money. What is the simplest thing that you can design that will be able to get you the money? I don't want to sit down and write ugly code. As I'm a programmer, yes, I know we get pride and say, like, you pay the best code, but at the end of men have to pay the bills. So Microsoft, it gives you that ability. They already have packaged everything into their things, their solutions. You will see like Visual Studio 2019 that it's already been equipped to integrate it with Azure. So it means I create my own there. Then after creating it, I go to Visual Studio. I just tap in my accounts that I've activated my Azure with. Then it pick up those services. I just click. Within 1 minute, I've shipped them. So that thing, the one thing that I like was back in 2013, it was a little bit difficult because I remember Visual 2012, it was not that powerful in a way that you had to do everything manual. You have to go and take your connection string, your database. So you had to, like, it was an alien. It was like Azure is an alien with your Visual Studio. But now it become better because everything what I try to do now is it try to integrate everything into their cloud, everything. They run it on the cloud. Even if you see the Office 365 now, it's fully a cloud. It means it become a platform where one can now start to develop solutions around. And all their services are well integrated into the way that me as a developer who's always on the money, it make it much easier for me to develop without worrying around many costs. So one thing within the Visual Studio that we're going to play around is how well the Azure is well integrated into our, these two platforms are well integrated. Then we will go into the database. Now, my thing is just picked up. So one thing that we'll do is now we are going to the database. What you can do with the database, it means like I'm going to use a database first, code first from database. It means like the other code first that you will do, it's like you will actually write your own code, you write your own classes, you write them, you configure them, you do your own DB context, then everything you do it there. But then if now you do code first from the database, it means like you have an already existing database, and then you just go into take that database and then import it or integrate it into your solution. Then after creating it, it creates those classes that you had to design, they will be created on your behalf. Then after they created, you can do your own migration. So that's what we're going to show to the database. We're going to show the Azure, how well integrated into Visual Studio. Then, and then we're going to show the capabilities of, yes, sir.
I was saying, I'm actually happy that you mentioned that you were going to talk about code first, because some of the viewers might not know what code first is. So do you mind explaining what code first is? Because some have heard about code first, database first. What's actually going on there in these two separate demographics?
So code first, it means like now, there are people, there are different types of database, the way you will build your storage, which is where you store your database. So I'll just stay to say like, okay, some people will notice, okay, I go to my relational database management system, which is your Microsoft, what is this? It's run a Microsoft SQL Management Data Studio, where you go and write your own tables, create your own things.
Oh.
Then that's how you create your tables using SQL. But then the other approach that you can do is you are not good in terms of writing your SQL functions or your SQL script, but you are
Statements, SQL
very
statements. Yeah, those are crazy.
Yes. So then now what you can do is without worrying, or sometimes you're a startup and that you don't have the skill to design your database using SQL. And then now what you can do is you can use your own C#, create your own classes, build them and then integrate them. And the other thing that is important is entity framework, which is it will help you even to integrate your database or your database relational database management studio to integrate with your solution, which is your C#. Then your entity framework will take your C# code classes. Let's say your class is person, name, surname. Then it will take them, convert them into an SQL that will be able to be understood by your relational database management system or your server. So code first, it means like
that's actually nice, eh?
Using C# and you create the database, so you don't have to worry about your SQL.
Oh, that's really nice. And it's funny you mentioned entity framework because I've messed around with that type of technology like in the last couple of months. Like what I learned about it, I don't know if I've explored it fully, but what I've learned about it with entity framework, you don't really need to understand SQL fully. You just need to know, okay, fine, you can use SQL as a database. The only thing you need to worry about is your code, which is your classes, your models, and then your models become what they call DP sets, right? If I remember correctly, those are DP sets. And then DB sets become tables. So your models become tables in your database. Entity framework does it for you automatically. Right. So I'm really excited to see how you're going to use that in this session.
And the other thing is previously, firstly, what people used to do is before entity framework come, it means you had to write a code that will connect your database with your C# code, which is your backend. You had to write everything. Ooh. You have to figure it. So
from scratch.
It was a mission. And then nowadays it means it's just easy. You just like import that library, then by default it creates everything for you. You don't even have to worry about what's happening. How does it take your C# code, convert it into SQL? How do you take the data from your database and present it into your application? So now I'm going to join. I'm clicking the link. So you'll accept me.
Okay. Just a second.
So then the other thing that's exciting, which is maybe if I get time, it's there are certain things that are exciting. So database, when you create within your Azure, you might want to write your script. So let's say you don't have your relational database management system to build your own script. It means within the Azure, you have that platform where you will be able to create those scripts without installing the relational database management system. It's in case it's your SQL management studio. Then within Azure, you will see how we create those scripts and then connect to our thing. And there's this another thing that called app editor. So it means sometimes you want to edit your files. So are you aware of what we call FileZilla?
No, I'm not aware of it. No, unfortunately.
So what FileZilla do is sometimes when you did, like now Microsoft by itself, it champion the thing, your server side. So, but if you host your application with other service provider, I might not say them. Sometimes when you deploy application, your file are not get updated. You want to update a page, maybe you did a mistake in terms of a spelling error. Then you find like now, every time you deploy, you can't deploy it. You deploy it, but it doesn't update. So now what you need to do, you have to download your file from the server with using FileZilla, which is it's a very painful process. You download them, then you take your file actually on the server. Let's say you have your home page, and then you want to edit Tori. You wrote Tori in a wrong way. Then you want to download that file from the server and edit on FileZilla. So now, because one issue is you deployed it and then Tori was not updated from your Visual Studio. You did it 10 times, it doesn't. So now you have to pull the file from the server, put them into FileZilla and edit them. So it's a machine event to set it your FileZilla. But then now what happened is what the thing was made easier. You have App Studio, which is an app editor within your Azure. So it means your files now that you have uploaded them, you can go on Azure and edit them.
Okay, that's nice. So now I'm glad you actually mentioned that, because in the past, how I would normally handle such things, I'm not sure if you're familiar with a tool in Azure called deployment slots. You've heard about deployment slots?
No.
So what deployment slots are, you are allowed to deploy different versions of your application under the same app service plan. So I could have a production website running there and have another a test one where we could just add a couple of features on and deploy it. Have both of these websites running in parallel but with different URLs. So whenever my testing website has new features that I like and I think it's ready for production, I just swap the slots. I take the production slots, put it in a testing, and then take the testing, put it in production. So yeah, that's another way. But then your way also sounds really cool. So it's always good to learn.
Yeah. So yeah, let me do this now. We are in. Sorry about this, man. I was rushing to home. So tell me if you see my screen.
Okay. I see it. Okay, let me try to add it. I think I see it. Let me just a second.
Okay.
Okay, which one? Okay, this one is sharing. Okay, let me add this one then. Tell me, oh, your screen is sharing already?
Yes, I've already shared it.
Okay. Let me put this one to the stream. Okay. Okay, while we're waiting for Fanie to get his screen back, he's about to open his Visual Studio, which is like an IDE that I personally love from Microsoft. We mainly use Microsoft products here, and not just because, yeah, it's mainly because I love Microsoft. I don't really have anything to say other than that. It's just that Microsoft made all of their tools and platforms easier to use. As Fanie was talking at the beginning of the session, saying most of the tools are integrated, right? So we don't have to go to a separate cloud provider to push our code there to that cloud. The cloud provider, which is Azure, is connected to our IDE, which is Visual Studio. And like all the tools we need, Microsoft made sure that all of those tools are centralized, like GitHub. Now, GitHub is integrated to Visual Studio. So that's really cool. And also, as also Fanie was mentioning, Azure is not connected to Visual Studio, so you don't need to go to command lines and type in some scripts. You don't have to be an expert anymore to deploy websites or any of your solutions to the cloud. Everything's integrated now. I just like what Microsoft did. I think Fanie's screen is about to show, and I think it's sharing now. Yeah, I think it's sharing.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, then let me jump into Azure. So yeah, I'm jumping into Azure. So as I said, like it's a cloud computing platform that renders services from your infrastructure to your software as a service. But because we are developers, we mostly use the platform as a service. But you can go to the level where it's an infrastructure service where you actually build your own computer. So what do I mean? You build your own CPUs, you build your own RAM, you build all those things. But today, what we're focusing more, it will be platform as a service. We are going to use a platform called, at the platform level, where we host our own website. And then again, the platform that we'll use it, we are going to draft our own database. So that's what we are going to go through. And so to access it, you are not going to install it as what we call as a desktop application. It's fully on internet. All you need is browser, and you just go to www.azure.microsoft.com. Then this is the face that you will face, or the screen, the home page. Then you will click the sign in. Then it will take you through your portal. Before you need to be registered as Microsoft student ambassadors. We are quite privileged. We get access, we get credit every month to be able to play around with Azure. So for you to be able to use it, you need to pay. And then the way you pay doesn't mean you have to sign contract. Previously, we know before things like cloud computing arrived, you used to buy your own software, a license. What they will do, these big companies, they will lock you into a contract. The way they will lock you into a contract, they will just say, like, for the next 5 years, you are going to use our software. So now,
hey, that wasn't really nice, eh?
Yeah, it wasn't nice. Now you pay as you use. It means, like, if now it's no longer being used, then what you can do is you just like cancel it. So the thing that I used was my student, and I will use the one that I have credit. So because what I can't use the service if I didn't have enough credit. So I'm going to use the tenant where I have money into it. The one that I logged in at the moment it didn't have credit. So you will have to register using your own email or your company email. For me, I'm a Microsoft person, so I have privileges.
Yeah, guys, you should apply and become student ambassadors and get all these perks Fanie's talking about, because we get monthly credits to deploy and test our solutions on the cloud. That's how generous Microsoft is. So don't sleep on it.
Okay. So what you might say, like, if someone want to apply in the meantime, what is needed?
So anyone can apply at the student ambassador program. That's the best part. Anyone can apply as long as you're still a student. At the time you're applying, you can apply. You just need to go at the end of the session. I'll put a link in the comment section in one of our YouTube channels or Facebook, or you can just go apply. Anyone, literally, the process is easy. You don't need any prior knowledge in the tech industry or nothing. Literally, we're all about learning here, so anyone can apply.
Perfect. So yeah, thank you, Tori. So now this is, once you logged in, this is the home page of your Azure portal. Then the Azure portal, it's where now you build your services. So you either can build your services using this portal that you see, or you can use your command line, which is it allow you. I'm not an alien. Tori, I know it's an alien, so they like this gift of command line.
I mean, you get used to it. You get used to it as time goes on.
Yeah.
You get used to it, you know.
Yeah. No, like, I've tried. Yeah, but yeah, I like something that is easy. I'm a money man, so learning those commands. So yeah, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a resource. So what we want to do is we want to create to host our own web application. I will click here on the resource. Trying to open Visual Studio while it's. Sorry, Tori, I'm trying to open the Visual Studio while I'm doing the thing, then it's still loading, because I don't want to waste.
Oh, okay. Yeah, multitasking. Hey, which version of Visual Studio are you running? Is it running 19 or the preview of 2022? Hey, you should check out the preview, the 2022 preview. It's amazing. And the best part, it runs on the 64-bit chip. So we will take advantage of your entire memory. So you don't have to worry about like putting up your solution slower than the putting up your solution slower pretty much, since the new one runs on 64 bits. So if you have more RAM, literally Visual Studio will take advantage of all that RAM and build your solutions faster, build time, compilation time. It's just much way better. You know, I personally like it because I started using it a couple of months ago. Actually, last month. Preview is out, guys. In case you didn't know, it's actually on Preview 3 now, if I remember correctly. Visual Studio 2022 is on Preview 3.
It's on Preview 3. Cool stuff. So that way. Yeah. So yeah, it's still loading. Sorry, the internet is slow now. But yeah, I hope everyone is still learning, even if our challenges. The most important thing to get the knowledge. Yeah.
Yes,
So
of
yeah,
course,
then
of course.
all the resources here. Then once you click it here, it will take you to this page where it gives you all the option where you'll see like the resources. You want the resource in terms of your machine learning, your artificial intelligence, your data, your web, your network. So that's what it will take you to the thing. Some you will see the Windows server. Sometimes you want to install, because remember, you can't build your computer from scratch from the infrastructure as a service, but then as you're going to do from the platform as a service. So it means whatever that you want the website that you want to build, there's already a template that they already created. All you do is just to deploy it on that at the level of a platform. So for me, I want to work with web. So if you check it here, you will see. Now it's hidden here. So if you check it here, you will see a web application. That's what I want to work with. Then I will click create. Then it's still loading. So this is where it's still loading.
So a couple of SSDs are running in the cloud, creating our resources at the comfort of our own home. You know, that's pretty nice.
A server on the internet.
Pretty much, yeah.
To create this web application, it's going to be a mission, you know. I had to buy my own server, but you'll just see here, I just select. So here it is now. There is a resource group. So the resource group, it helps you in terms of how do you group your resources. It depends, like some, you will have an HR department where you want to build or to group the resources. But for now, I'm just going to use the resource called the varsity gene that is already created. So what it does, it means like, you know, like if I want certain thing, or if I want the HR services, I go to which group resources. For now, I'll just use a pre-created one. It's just simple. You just click create, you just name. Nothing more is needed. You just have to name it. And then the other thing that comes here, this is the name of this is the default. Before maybe you want to deploy your website, before you take it to production, there will be another site that you use to do a default one. So if for today's session, I will call it Inspire. Or let me say demo of Inspire SA. Then it will give it which you want to publish as containers or as a code. I just want to the code. You know, if the container, I've never played with them. So what do you understand by the containers?
Hey, containers are pretty much amazing. And I'm actually glad you mentioned that, because I'm actually planning an episode where we're going to create a simple application and deploy it with Docker. Now, what Docker is pretty much, it's an engine that runs all containers. It's a container orchestrator. You know, you can't really create containers without Docker. Sure, there are other engines, but then Docker is like the most famous ones. It's like you basically encapsulating your application in one environment with all its dependencies where you can run everywhere. You're packaging it in simple terms.
Oh, cool stuff. So the code, then it means like I will just take the whole code and deploy it. Containers.
Yeah. With code, you're deploying it raw as it is. All the dependencies are going to go with it. But now the catch is it's only going to run within that server that you deployed it on. So you can't really give it to your friend. That's the only difference between code and containers.
Okay. Okay. So a container, it means I can share it with another team to edit it. This one, it means all of us have to work on one code. That's what you mean.
Yes. Yes, and also containers run on everywhere, on any operating
Oh,
system, in any environment.
oh, nice. Let's check here. So which is okay, now I can see. Then now for code, I'll just choose code, then it will check which runtime you want to use. I'm a .NET, so I will use .NET 5. I don't want to use the early access because it might not be reliable and it might not be available on other region. So I'll just show here on region. It says central US. So I'm going to choose the South Africa. I want you to check down here where it wrote the standard. The standard, this thing is the type of like, what can I say? Type of computing power that you want the size of your computing power, how big your application is. Let's say like you want to run an application of a bank. It means you will need a very big size. But if you want to run an application or host an application that display only the models, no database, then you will just choose share. You will just check it to say one day we'll just go through theory where you go through checking all these different size. They share standard, premium 1, premium 2. So for now, and then again, what you have to understand is those sizes, they have been deployed in different data centers. So in South Africa, you will find like the capacity of a data center is not as powerful as the way that you can host an application like a bank or FNB. You can't host it because they don't have that such capacity to host those kind of applications. I'll just make an example here. I'll choose South Africa. So which is a data center north, which is a data center at Joburg. So if you check it here, it writes shared one. It means like it's not as powerful as the one that is in the US where Microsoft has their own quotas. It's just a small one just to host small applications. But as they keep investing in it, then you will just see them being upgraded. So I just chose South Africa. And then now I have any question to me that you have, or I can go forward.
No, you can go forward, and the reason why I'm saying you can go forward is because we've went through actually what's going on with Azure in the other episodes. So most of our viewers know what we're talking about, So you don't really need to know baby step, because they know what's going on. We've already went through all of this.
Then let me create my thing with you. I'm hoping the Visual Studio is still loading there. Oh, it's still loading.
Well, what are your specs?
I have it's an i5, i3. Oh, it's very. Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. It's an i3 RAM. It's 8.
Okay, your 8 gig. 8 gig sometimes becomes a problem when you're a developer. I recently upgraded to 16. I was running 8. And then a month ago, I was like, nah, I'm just not, 8 is just not doing it anymore. I'm running 16 now.
So yeah, let me create it and just creating it. Then it will indicate there up there that it's still creating initialize the deployment. So now what happened is like, if you're doing it yourself at home, it means it would have took you 1 minute just to set it up. I want you to think previously you had to go and buy your own server. Whatever, you have to go and buy your own software. Like you see, we run it on a Windows environment. It means you have to go and buy buy the licenses, buy those things just to deploy this. Now you just took it less than a minute. I can say so.
It took less than a minute. Like the cloud has made implementing solutions much easier for everyone. The amount of power we have on the cloud is unlimited, pretty much. Scale to infinity. That's what they always say.
Perfect. And what I like is it's just easy to use. Like just to create it in less than 1 minute, then it's created. Then we have our own website. Then you can start now to, how can I say, you can customize it, but because the standard that we have chose, it's shared, it doesn't allow you to shared its work more on the testing, not on the production side. So now we have created our own, now what we say, our own web application. It's ready to accept it. But then now remember, we want to use the database. We'll create the database. Now we'll go back to our home. Then we say, if you check it up there, because I create a lot of databases, I will click the SQL. Due to time, then I'll click the SQL. So now remember that a database run on the server. So before you run a database, you have to create a server. So that's what we're going to go through, where we'll create a server, and you will have to have your username and your password. Then we'll create, once we are here into the database, these are the database that I have. Then I will create another one.
You created two?
No. Sorry. I'm because of time now. I'm a little bit hurried. So here now, let me go. We have created our own web application environment where now we can upload or we can deploy our web application. But then our web application, now we want to make it a system. It's an app, but then we want to make it a system where you can add and delete data, edit, like Facebook, you know, where you add friends, you unfriend. So it's like when you add a friend, I mean, you are adding, when you unfriend, you are deleting your friend from your data. So now what we are doing here, we are creating a database. We have created the beautiful part of things where now you can see pages, but then those pages, they take data from somewhere. We create a database and we are going to use an SQL database. Then we will click here. Then here is a list of my existing database. But I don't want to use an existing. We do our own new database. I will have to create it. On this view, if you check it up there, there is what we call create. You will click create.
Okay.
And
I like how the user experience has been simplified, because remember in the past you had to do this on the CLI and memorize all the commands and put permission strings. It was a mission. It was really a mission, eh?
I get you. So that's why I'm saying I'm not an alien. You will have went through that. Me, I will say I run. So this one is just easy to use. Even a grade 10 learner can create such things. So yeah.
Of
Then
course,
now
of course.
here, that's where we'll set it. Then it will ask to say which subscription you want to choose. Your account might have different subscriptions. And then for us, it's just Visual Studio Enterprise. I will still want to put them under one resource, which is Varsity Genie. Then now I want to name my database. Then the database I will then demo inspired.
Yeah, demo inspired sounds cool.
Then I want to create my own new server. I don't want to use an existing server because there are some databases that have sensitive thing. I won't use an existing thing. I'll just use this one for demo.
Okay.
Okay, then I'm creating a server. So you come to say your database, remember, it has to run on a computer, which is a server. Then now we have to indicate where this database will run. Then now you have to create your location. Remember, the data center is big and there's a lot of machines there that are big. So now we want to run it. Oh God. So yeah, now we want to create a database where our database will be sitting at. Then we have to name it. Still loading, sorry. Reload. While it's still loading, I was still explaining to say, like, you will have your database that will have to be run on a particular server. And then for it to run there, you have to create it. You might find there are already existing servers, which is usually if you go and work for a particular company, the database that you will create, you will already have a server that is already existing. So now even us here, but you have to create it for the purpose of you understanding how to create a server. Then I'm creating a server. Then I will name it to inspired server. It sounds cool.
Yeah, it does sound cool, eh? It does.
Oh God.
How's the Visual Studio doing there?
No, Visual Studio is fine now. I don't know what's happening here. The page is unresponsive.
Okay, maybe it's the internet.
Yeah. So now, I just wanted to bear with me. Inspired demo, inspired server. So yeah, I need to remember it because now when I arrive to my database or when I'm integrating with my thing, so it inspired server. So what I will do now, the database admin, I'll just say inspired. I shouldn't share it, but then because it's them, I'll just use it. Inspired admin. And you will enter your own passwords.
That you'll have to remember.
Yeah, you have to remember. Write it down. I hope I'll remember mine. But yeah, I hope. Let me type it slow. I'm typing it slow so that I can remember it. Oh, perfect. Then you will choose the location where you want your server to be situated. Yeah. Then yeah, all is well. Then you will choose elastics you want it to be to. Once the database is full, do you want it to expand itself? Here's the other thing that is fun. You need to be careful on this. My money has been 18, like I will deploy a database today, and tomorrow I wake up, the money was gone. All of the money
consumes a lot. SQL consumes a lot.
Eh?
SQL consumes a lot of credits, eh?
Yeah, no, the issue is this computer and storage. So here the Microsoft give you a default as general purpose. I'll show you how much general purpose costs a day. 700 or something a day.
Yo. That's intense. That's a lot. That's a lot. We can't afford that.
So it means your credit, like when you wake up, they're all gone.
Make them serverless.
Like a month, it said 3,000 something. Okay, no. Like as they give us close to 2,000 something, but then it's 3,000. So it means like it will just chow it like nobody's business. So what you need to do, change it here. Here is the thing, server tie. You don't want that heavy server tie. You will want just a simple thing, which is a basic. I like basic because it's free, or it's 100 and something a month. It's 76 rand a month. Just to
That's cheap. That's affordable.
Yeah, just to test your things that you want to test. Then I will just say, then they say backup storage redundant. So it means like what happened there? If you say local, it means on the, I've deployed myself, my database at USA, let's say Seattle at the data center. It means the replication, if I say I want the duplication to only happen in that thing, it means if there's a tornado that happened there, it destroys it, your data will be gone. It destroys that. Then there's this zone, it means like on the zone, it can be a same province, but then a different, like same, let's say it's Durban, and then now you want it, one will be based in Durban, the other one will be based in Tubatuba, the one. So it means like even if the flood destroy the central Durban, it means like now the backup again on Mutubatuba is still safe. So this is just
funny. I feel like we're spending too much time on Azure, because since I already went through.
I was not sure. Okay, let me finish it down because I wanted to explain these things. Okay, perfect. Sorry. Then the network, then you want it to be able to be accessed by, again, why I spent this, because this one, like network, it's very important. If you messed it up, you will try to connect it with your Visual Studio, then it won't work. So, but then I will go fast. Then it's a public endpoint. You want it to be able, the public people to access it. Then allow other resource services. If you don't click yes, then it means your application, when you deploy, it won't work. Then you have to say yes. Then you will say default, tie, then next, security, we don't want it, then tag, then we create it. Create. So sorry, I was just explaining the things.
Yeah, no problem. Now, I just had to make you aware that time might be an issue, but then no worries. If it happens that we don't finish today, we can have a part 2. We don't mind. We can always have a part 2.
Yeah. So I think we'll go to part 2. What I will do is just to deploy the. Let me check, because this one is still deploying. Okay, let me go here to save time. Then I'll create my own new project. I'm going to my own Visual Studio. Then I click here to create a new project.
Let's see.
It's still loading. We have like 5 minutes. I think we will be done.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I'm not going to go deeper into it. I will just deploy the web application. Then I will just leave the thing, the database.
Okay. And then on part 2, we just come back and run on the database.
Yes.
Okay, of course. That's nice.
Yeah. But then if it's still doing this, then it means once database is created, then I can go to the database. So to save time, then it's still deploying on both sides. It means on the other side, it's still loading my PC. It's kind of like slow because of my specification. I'm just praying just this Visual Studio to work.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
No, I should have used the thing at the office, but the issue was I didn't have microphone. So the issue is one issue that you will face with the firewall. I can't create the databases from Azure or access the Azure server using the Devon Institute of Technology network because they have blocked because of the firewall. So I have to use my phone. And I have to use my phone as a microphone again. So it means I will have to use my phone as an external network, and then I will have to use my phone as a microphone, which was impossible.
But then at least you're able to think on your feet. So that shows a good sign of a developer.
Yeah, then I had to use my PC. I know my PC was. It's kind of like funny, like doing things like this. Ooh.
Like funny, like your name.
Yeah. Look now, it's still loading. Why did I open it? So yeah, no, I think we will do everything in part 2. Let me deploy this one and then yeah.
At least now we know that when we come back on part 2, all of the deployment and cloud stuff is already done. We just jump right in and grind on the code. That's the fun part.
Yeah, let's just say we'll just continue in part 2. Sorry everyone, we just had some technical issues here. So yeah, then what we'll do in part 2, what I'll do now, we are deploying our own database, and then again we will create our own web application. So let me try to create an application here. I will click the template, then I will check the platform they will ask. Yeah, I'll just have to buy a microphone next to it, so I can use the PC at the thing, because I see this one is disappointing here.
But then at least now everyone has a better understanding on how you go about on creating resources and deploying them on the cloud. Regardless, like I know we've taught us in the past. Most of them who have watched one of our episodes know what we're talking about, but some who are watching for the first time actually got a sense on how to go on about selecting a service. What is the service? what's a resource group, why do we need it, how do you configure an external database? Because a lot of developers when they're deploying an application, especially an app service, they're normally using the built-in database, the integrated one. They don't create an external one. So because they're trying to avoid the complications, and then you went on and deployed the external one and showed them how to configure the networks, the security, the service tier. So there was a lot to learn and very insightful. I'm actually glad we went through all of that.
No, sorry. Yeah, no, next week we'll do just part 2 just to go through. I'm happy with great services. They are there. Then just to rock and roll. I think, we'll be ready and we'll make sure that we're on time. Sorry for the inconvenience that we have made caused. It was on my side, my PC disappointed. And then, thank you so much.
No problem, Fanie. It was a lovely session to have you, but then don't run away just yet. Remember, we're still at part 2, so don't run away just yet. Our viewers are going to be waiting to see what this application is going to be like, and what is this code first approach we keep on, dribbling around, So that was a lovely session. Any last words before we go take a break and then wait for our part 2, which is going to be next week? Any last words?
Last words? No. It's very exciting. I will just say the last words. I'm a Microsoft person. It's about productivity. It means I use Visual Studio, I use Azure. Then it's heaven for me. And if you're an entrepreneur and then you want something faster, you're .NET. I know sometimes they say now the more the bigger project get, the more you see the limitation of it. But for startup, for entrepreneurs, if you want to start to do things and you're a .NET guy, go and jump into Azure. It's very easy to use. Every service from your intelligence, which is your AI, anything that you will find on other platform, you will find it here. And this one is much more easier because even their ID are well integrated. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Fanie, for your time. We know you're a very busy man, and also as a gold student ambassador. Guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. Fanie is a gold student ambassador, and then for you to get to that level, there's a lot of hard work you have to put in. So this is one of the guys that we look up to. Since I'm a beta student ambassador, I look up to Fanie that one day I reach there. I'm just trying to grind.
Stop focusing on gold and go and make some money.
And it was a lovely session, guys. Thank you to everyone who tuned in today. We know it's a Friday. Most of you have to go see your families, but everyone who tuned in and everyone's still gonna watch because our shows are on YouTube. You don't have to sit in and watch the stream as live as it is. You can watch it at your own convenient time. We really appreciate it, and we hope to see you again next week.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you so much.